ருக்மணி ஆர்ட்ஸ் மற்றும் மியூசிக் ட்ரஸ்டின் 26வது ஆண்டு விழாவிற்கும் ருக்மணி விஸ்வநாதன் மெமோரியல் விருது வழங்கும் விழாவிற்கு வருகை புரிந்திருக்கிற சான்றோர் பெருமக்கள் அனைவரையும் மீண்டும் ஒரு முறை வருக வருக என அன்போடு வரவேற்கிறோம். மணிவாசக பெருந்தகை சொல்லுவார், விண்ணுக்கு ஒரு மருந்தை வேத விழுப்பொருளை கண்ணுக்கு இடியானை பாடி கசிந்து உள்ளம் என்று சொல்லுவார். அந்த வகையிலே விண்ணுக்கு ஒரு மருந்தாக நின்று வேதத்தின் விழுப்பொருளாக விளங்கிய இறைவனை பாடி கசிந்து நாம் உள்ளம் உருகிறோம். அதனைத் தொடர்ந்து விருது வழங்கும் விழா இனிதே துவங்க இருக்கிறது. சிறப்பு விருந்தினர்களை அன்போடும் பரிவோடும் மேடைக்கு அழைத்து வருவதற்கு அரங்காவலராக விளங்குகிற ராஜன் ரங்கநாதன் ஐயா அவர்களையும் சங்கீத விதூஷி அருணா பிரபா ரங்கநாதன் ஐயா அம்மா அவர்களையும் அன்போடு அழைக்கிறோம். முதலாவதாக சிறப்பு விருந்தினராக வருகை தந்திருக்கிற மாண்பமை நீதியரசர் திரு ராமர் சுப்பிரமணியம் ஐயா அவர்களை அன்போடு உங்கள் பலத்த கரவொலியோடு வருக வருக என வரவேற்கிறோம். ஐயா அவர்களை தொடர்ந்து தொழிலதிபர் எம்.கே. ராஜகோபால் ஐயா அவர்களை அன்போடு மேடைக்கு அழைக்கிறோம். அவர்களை தொடர்ந்து பாரத்கியான் அமைப்பினுடைய நிறுவனர் டாக்டர் திரு ஹரி மற்றும் திருமதி ஹேமாஹரி அவர்களை அன்போடு வருக வருக என வரவேற்கிறோம். இந்த நிகழ்ச்சிக்கு வருகை தந்திருக்கிற நமது ஆர்ஆர் சபாவினுடைய தலைவர் மதிப்புக்குரிய சந்தானகிருஷ்ணன் ஐயா அவர்கள் மற்றும் செயலர் நாகராஜன் ஐயா, செல்லா வைத்தியநாதன் ஐயா அவர்களை அன்போடு வருக வருக என வரவேற்கிறோம். விருது வழங்கும் விழா இனிதே துவங்க இருக்கிறது. இந்த அமைப்பானது துவங்கி சுமார் 26 ஆண்டுகளை கடந்து கம்பீரமாக நின்று கொண்டிருக்கிறது. 26 ஆண்டுகள். இதனுடைய துவக்கமாக பாரத்கியான் அமைப்பினுடைய நிறுவனர் டாக்டர் திரு ஹரி அவர்களுக்கு பூங்கொத்து வழங்க அருணா பிரபா ரங்கநாதன் அம்மா அவர்களை அன்போடு அழைக்கிறோம். அவர்களை தொடர்ந்து திருமதி ஹேமாஹரி அவர்களுக்கும் பூங்கொத்து வழங்கப்படுகிறது. வரவேற்புரையை தொடர்ந்து பாராட்டரங்கம் இனிதே துவங்க இருக்கிறது. அரணெனப்பட்டதே இல்வாழ்க்கை என்பது இந்த பாரத தேசத்தினுடைய பண்பாட்டு சின்னங்களில் ஒன்று. அந்த வகையில் அந்த அறத்தோடு நின்று இல்வாழ்க்கையை சீரும் சிறப்புமாக நடத்தி வருகிற டாக்டர் டி.கே.ஹரி மற்றும் டாக்டர் டி.கே.ஹேமாஹரி அவர்களை பாராட்டும் விதமாக வாழ்நாள் சாதனையாளர் விருதை இந்த அரங்கம் அவர்களுக்கு வழங்க இருக்கிறது. அவர்கள் செய்யக்கூடிய ஆக்கப்பூர்வமான பணிகளை குறித்து தற்போது ஒரு குறும்படம் உங்களுக்காக.
BharathGyan is a pioneer in Indian civilizational knowledge studies, which over the last 25 years has been collating and disseminating authentic, awe-inspiring, factual, engaging, educational content about the knowledge of the Indian civilization to all sections of society, especially the youth. Its multidisciplinary knowledge compilation spans wide and deep to straddle mind and matter and cover sciences and humanities as it showcases the knowledge of India with pride as a peacock. BharathGyan has been culling out the underlying wisdom from the knowledge of the Indian civilization and its global connects. It highlights how this wisdom, the Bharatiya Viveka, has been about understanding what this land called Bharat endows us with and putting these endowments to use wisely for all-round sustained prosperity. This created a civilizational culture of working towards unity and diversity through the ethos of aggregation with the motto of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. These go towards showcasing how it is Ek Bharat and a Sreshta Bharat indeed, a Bharat that has the elephantine strength of many industrious ants working together wisely in governance, industry, trade, cultural practices, ecology and education as well. BharathGyan's compilation work and dissemination efforts thus strike a chord with the objectives of the IKS division of the Ministry of Education, namely of showcasing Indian knowledge with a parampara of traditions that have kept Indian knowledge and civilization alive, with a drishti of integrating science with spirituality and being multidisciplinary, with Laukika Prayojana of being applicable and proven for prosperity generation balanced with sustenance. Create a mood amongst the youth of India to appreciate, accept and apply Indian knowledge for the betterment of the future of India and the world. BharathGyan, with its tagline of experience the knowledge of India and expertise in curating and setting up the Knowing New India Pavilion for Pravasi Bharatiya Divas at Varanasi in 2019 and developing storylines for Kashi Tamil Sangam and Saurashtra Tamil Sangam as part of Ek Bharat Shreshth Bharat to educate the students and people of India about the Indian knowledge-based civilizational character, Bharatiyata, is working to build a sense of identity and knowledge of self, build confidence and dare, build Atmanirbharta by helping India move from Swarajya to Swatantra to Swavriti. Namaskar.
இது ஒரு திரைப்படத்திற்கு ட்ரெய்லர் போல. இவர்கள் செயல்பாடுகளை அவர்கள் வலையொலியில் நீங்கள் சென்று பார்த்தால் அவர்களுடைய ஆக்கப்பூர்வமான பணிகளை நாம் வியந்துதான் பாராட்ட வேண்டும். அவர்கள் அளித்த ஒரு பேட்டியிலிருந்து ஒரு ஒற்றை வரி என்னுடைய மனதை வருடியது. ஞானத்தை பரப்புவதுதான் இந்த பாரதத்தினுடைய பண்பாடு என்கிற அந்த ஒற்றை வரியை நாம் பிடித்து கொண்டால் போதும் நமது தேசம் இன்னும் மென்மேலும் உயரும் என்பதில் எந்தவித மாற்று கருத்தும் இல்லை. காசிக்கு முன்பு சென்றவர்களும் சரி, இப்பொழுது நீங்கள் சென்றால் அங்கு இருப்பவர்கள் வணக்கம் வாருங்கள் என்று நம்மை அன்போடு அழைப்பார்கள். அதற்கு காரணம் காசி தமிழ் சங்கமம். அதனை முன்னின்று நடத்தியதில் இவரும் ஒருவர் என்பது பாராட்டிற்குரியது, வணக்கத்திற்குரியது. அவர்களை பாராட்டி பாராட்டு பத்திரத்தை வாசிப்பதற்காக அருணா பிரபா ரங்கநாதன் அம்மா அவர்களை அன்போடு அழைக்கிறோம்.
Rukmini Arts and Music Trust in the Service of Humanity. Scroll of Honor, Rukmini and Vishwanathan Memorial Lifetime Achievement Award for Bharatiya Civilization and Knowledge, presented to Dr.D.K.Hari and Dr.D.K.HemaHari. Dr.D.K.Hari and Dr.D.K.HemaHari, you are eminent research scholars and pioneers in Indian civilizational knowledge studies. Your interest in exploration of and research in Indian and world cultures through extensive global travel culminated in your establishing BharathGyan, a knowledge platform offering the world the glorious Indian civilization knowledge system at the touch of a button. You had given up your highly successful professional careers to plunge into researching and documenting the greatest and oldest civilization under the umbrella of BharathGyan. Your continuous extensive research and systematic work, equally entwined in its spiritual aspects, has resulted in Indic studies highlighting the scientific, industrial, and social aspects of the expansive Bharatiya civilization. As part of your Autobiography of India collection, you have so far collated over 500 hours of multimedia content on the Indian civilization and its global connects across over 108 different subjects, and have published 100 books, 5 documentary films, 600 short films, and 600 blog articles. You have trained close to 2,000 Indian and international students, ensuring dissemination of knowledge through lectures, talks, films, writings, expos, and social media. You are a visiting faculty for Indian Civilization Studies at the universities in India and the overseas and conduct online courses. You have been conferred the honoris causa by Sri Sri University, Orissa for 25 years of intensive research study and authoring of works on Indian civilizational knowledge. You're well known for your contributions at the national level, and these include member of delegation for Civil BRICS, Moscow, Russia in 2015, delivered the key session for youth in Pravasi Bharatiya Divas 2015, authoring book and designing, curating and setting up Knowing New India Pavilion for Ministry of External Affairs at the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas, Varanasi in 2019. A knowledge partner for Bharat Ko Janiye quiz of the Ministry of External Affairs, mentoring NGOs across India on water harnessing and river rejuvenation projects for applying Indic wisdom in these projects. Authoring and publishing of books for Ek Bharat, Shrestha Bharat events in 2022 and 2023. Kashi Tamiragam, a traditional connect, published as a book. Saurashtra Tamiragam, Millennia of Connect, published again as a book. You are also recipients of the Vishalakshi Award from Art of Living Bangalore, 2018, Sri B.R. Haran Memorial Award from Vedic Research Center, Chennai, 2019, Grateful to Guru Award from Indica in August 2023. On behalf of Rukmini Arts and Music Trust, we are privileged to present the Rukmini and Vishwanathan Memorial Lifetime Achievement Award 2023 to you, Dr.D.K.Hari and Dr.D.K.HemaHari for Bharatiya Civilization and Knowledge. On this day, 9 September 2023, Aruna Prabha Ranganathan Trustee, R. Ranganathan Managing Trustee. I request our chief guest and guest of honor to kindly felicitate and honor our awardees.
அவர்களுக்கான நினைவு பரிசை நீதியரசர் அவர்கள் வழங்குகிறார். அதனைத் தொடர்ந்து ருக்மணி விஸ்வநாதன் நினைவு வாழ்நாள் சாதனையாளர் விருதை பெற இருக்கிற அவர்களுக்கான விருதை நீதியரசர் அவர்கள் வழங்கும்படி தாழ்மையோடு கேட்டுக்கொள்கிறோம். அவர்களுக்கான விருதும் பொற்கிளியும் வழங்கப்படுகிறது. உங்கள் பலத்த கரவொலியோடு அவர்கள் ஆற்றுகிற சேவைக்கு நாம் தருகிற பரிசு, நாம் எழுப்புகிற கரவொலிதான். அவர்கள் மென்மேலும் உயரம் தொட்டு பல பெருமைகளை இந்த பாரத தேசத்திற்கு அடைய வேண்டும் என்கிற ஆசையோடு அவர்களை வாழ்த்தி வணக்கம் செலுத்தலாம். சிறப்பு செய்தவர்களுக்கும் விருதினை பெற்றுக்கொண்டவர்களுக்கும் மனமார்ந்த நன்றிகள். நாம் கேட்டுக்கொண்டதற்கு இணங்க தன்னுடைய ஆராய்ச்சியின் ஒரு பகுதியாக விளங்கக்கூடிய ஐம்பொன் சிற்பக்கலை குறித்து ஒரு நல்லதொரு உரையையும் ஏற்புரையையும் விருது பெற்ற இடையர்கள் இங்கே அரங்கேற்ற இருக்கிறார்கள். நாங்கள் முதலிலே ஒருவர் பெயரை தான் எழுதி வைத்திருந்தோம். ஐயா நீங்கள் வந்து பேசுகிறீங்களான்னு கேட்டோம். இல்லை, நாங்கள் ரெண்டு பேருமே சேர்ந்தே பேசுகிறோம். அவர்கள் இந்த இன்டர்வியூவில் மட்டும் இல்லை, அவர்கள் சமூக வலைதளத்தில் இருக்கிற அத்தனையிலேயே அவங்க ரெண்டு பேரும் சேர்ந்து தான் பேசுவாங்க. அவர்கள் எப்பொழுதும் இதே போல வாழ்வாங்கு வாழ எல்லாம் வல்ல திருவருள் துணை நிற்க வேண்டும் என்று வேண்டி அவர்களை ஏற்புரை வழங்க வருமாறு தாழ்மையோடு கேட்டுக்கொள்கிறோம்.
Namaskaram. Our respects to the dignitaries on the stage, Mr. and Mrs. Ranganathan, and dignitaries off the stage, and all our friends who have come here on our invite, and as well as to greet the others who have also received awards today. Our respects to all of you. Normally we don't read, but this time I'm reading just to make sure we stay within the stipulated time limit, because the topic we are actually talking about is so immense, it's so vast and so enriching as well, and we wouldn't know when to stop. So we are going to be reading, please excuse us. We are deeply honored and grateful to Rukmini Arts and Music Trust and its managing committee for having chosen to honor us today with this Lifetime Achievement Award. It means a lot to us and is also conveying a larger message of their encouragement to the knowledge and skill traditions of this civilization called Bharat.
On small things. So we'll be doing a Jugalbandi. Actually, when Srimati Arunaprabha Ranganathan, she told us she wants to give us the award, I said, we are still young. I'm sure there are a lot more elder people know. She said a very nice thing actually. She said, I'm sure you people are going to get a lot more awards in life. Let me be one of the early ones. And that really touched us. I thought I should share that with you. Thank you.
The people they have chosen actually to confer this award with, Shri Kotilingamaiya, Shri Vidya Shankar Stapati, Shri S. Kumar and ourselves, if you see, we've been pursuing fields which are very deeply connected with the very essence of Bharat. And we will see how and why in the next few minutes. Okay. The very word Bharat comes from Bha, meaning effulgence, glow, which is connected with knowledge, and Rat, which denotes the aspect of relishing. We all know Rati, who is the wife of Manmada, Kamadeva. So we know that she is the consort of the divinity for love. Now Bharat is a land, therefore, where people have relished knowledge and the glow of enlightenment.
I think here I need to sort of step in because over the last 1 week there's been a lot of discussion about the word Bharat from multiple forums. So, of course, the land has been called so for many millennia, and we have kept our trust as BharathGyan for the past 25 years. And look at the beauty. What she said is, Ba is light, Bhanumati, Bhaskara, and Ratha for connoisseur, relish knowledge. So, this land and its people have through the ages, millennia, we showed this slide over 8,000 years, or 8-10 millennia, have continuously called ourselves as Bharata, consistently, meaning a land which relishes knowledge. Can we think of any other civilization? See, there have been 40 plus civilizations in the world. We are the last surviving civilization. Any of them or any other country, any other province of the world calling itself as a land that relishes knowledge, a people that relish knowledge. We are unique in that. We are a people of knowledge. So that is the greatness of our civilization. That's the greatness of our land. So the name Bharat is not just limited. It's got a deep connotation with knowledge, seeking and relishing and being a connoisseur.
You will also see that this is a land where people have enjoyed the actual glow of sunlight also. So not just the glow of knowledge as light, but the glow of sunlight as well, and which we had put it to judicious use to produce sustained prosperity. Yet another aspect of Bharat, therefore, as a land of relishers of knowledge, if you see, Hari actually made this very interesting point before we came here. You know, it's very apt that we are going to be speaking about the aspect of relishing. And in this Sabha, the Rasika Ranjani Sabha, because we're talking about Rat, Rati, Rasika, Rasanai. So the aspect of relishing itself, and it is a very apt stage to be talking about it. Now, you will also see that Bharat is a land where people have been adept at working with the actual effulgence and the wind of the flame, fire itself. And the root for this, if you look at it in our languages, it is br, from which you get br, brigu. So metallurgy is that trade, that craft where people work with the actual effulgence of flame, the wind of the flame itself. You know, when flame, it moves, it makes a wind sound, and that is represented by br sound. From there you get Bhargo, which we say in our Gayatri, Bhargo, Bhargav, Bhargavi, the Maharishi Bhrigu. And this particular metallurgy is one where, and we have been adept at both forging metals and alloys. And we have created wonderful artifacts, not just as showpieces. We have created them for use at homes, for vessels, tools, and showpieces. In temples for portraying the divine as Murti, Vigraha, and as well as for the sounds of the cosmos in the form of the Ghantamani. In music, you know, we normally, when we talk about music, we said this in another session elsewhere, we talk about music, but whenever we talk about it, especially stringed instruments, we fail to recognize the artisans who have produced those fine strings. The metallurgy, imagine the skill in metallurgy to have been able to produce those tandis, the strings, without which the veena. So if you say veena is a very old instrument, it means that the metallurgy for making those strings is equally old. So that is something, and therefore we have used it in musical instruments for strings as well as in wind and percussion instruments. In navigation, we have used brass for tools and instruments. There are so many records of people talking about the tools which have been used in Indian ships. Now in architecture, of course, for shape, for the structure, for the strength, and for the shimmer as well. So the metallurgies of the metallurgists, if you trace them, they trace to the lineage of Maharishi Bhrigu. And it has been one of the ancient skills which has earned wealth for our land. And we can show how the Bronze Age for the Western world itself was triggered by the metallurgists and the people skilled in alloying in India already. So we helped usher in that Bronze Age for the world as they talk. So the nature's blessings on Bharat, we can see as in the form of the legacy of Sri Vidya Shankar Stapati here, and whose work today is celebrated as the Chola bronzes. Do you want to step in?
See, when people say Chola bronzes, they normally say about 700 years, 800 years, 1000 years, 1200 years. You should remember that the Cholas also fought in the Mahabharata war. That means you are talking about a lineage, a generation, a parampara of 5,100 years and more. So bronzes, alloying, steel, everything, all goes back to 5, 6, 7 millennia, because Rama, Ravana all used all these strings, veena strings. So that means we are talking about this knowledge of this land going back to 7, 8 millennia and more. Nowhere else you have that in the world.
And if you see, the pinnacle of Chola bronzes is in the form of Nataraja. And there are 3 famous Nataraja that will immediately come to our mind. One is the most divine Nataraja in Chidambaram. The other is a Nataraja who is standing in CERN, Geneva, to showcase how we had the science, and we had used Nataraja as a metaphor for talking about the dynamics in the cosmos. In terms of creation and the continuous motion that is there. Because if you look at the Nataraja idol itself, it's full of motion. Every aspect of Nataraja is full of motion. And now we have a Nataraja at the Bharat Mandapam in Delhi, which is the tallest Nataraja, largest Nataraja. And that stands as a metaphor for the showpiece. It's a showpiece of Indian craft and metallurgy, and that's why it's standing there at Bharat Mandapam. Now what is very interesting is, if you take this Nataraja, here we have that Nataraja represented in the skills that all the others in the stage here have proficiency and what they represent. For instance, we have Ma Kotilinga Maiya, who through his literature and poetry, he conveys the 3 states of Shiva. With his poetry of Tevaram, he talks about the 3 states of Shiva, which is Arupa, then Rupa, Arupa, and Sarupa. All these are brought out by him in his poetry. And what next do we have? We have Sri Vidya Shankar Stapati, whose, as Madam read, his sculpture conveys Uruvam, Aruvam, and Uruvam, Aruvam, both formless and form. So all 3 states he represents. And finally, who do we have here again? We have Thiru S. Kumar, who through his Mridangam, what is it supposed to do? It is supposed, the beats are supposed to get you in layam. And what is Layam? Layam is to blend, to diffuse and blend into all these states simultaneously. So we have people who are...
And who represents Mridangam? Nandikeshwarar. So look at how everything merges into... And for Layam is represented by Nandikeshwarar. So you see that the beauty of everything blending into each other. So knowledge blends into Layam, into, we have sculpture, into knowledge, everything.
So Rukmini Arts and Music Trust today has actually honored the timeless tradition of both Bha and Bhr of this civilization, and which have actually made this land call itself Bharat. And we are very happy to receive this award, and I'm sure I can say that on behalf of Shri Vidyashankar Stapati ji also. And we dedicate this award to all our ancestors who had taken this civilization to such glowing heights, and they have shown us the power in balancing knowledge and skills with wisdom and values. And therefore, we all have to seek refuge in the verses of the famous poet Sri Tyagaraja, Entaro Mahanubhavulu, Antariki Vandanamulu. Namaskaram.